Thank you for listening to GCN. Be sure to visit GCNlive.com today.
We're talking melatonin. We're talking about, I love this stuff, man. Really, we're talking about one of the most powerful, gram for gram, powerful and inexpensive nutritional health aids. I'm not going to say supplements. It's not really a supplement because it's a hormone, but nutritional health aids that you can buy in the health food store anywhere. 3 milligrams, 180 lozenges, 3 milligrams. I'm holding my melatonin right here. I use now melatonin, sublingual. 180 of these pills, 3 milligrams, cost you about $6 or $7. That's crazy. That's 6 months worth of melatonin. 3 months if you do 6 milligrams a day. I do between 3 and 6 milligrams. Not all every night, but 4, maybe 5 nights a week. It's unbelievable for helping you sleep. Everybody knows that. It gives you great dreams, but there's lots of other benefits. It's a general tonic, and as we get older, melatonin levels drop. Now, it is a hormone, so it's not a nutritional supplement, and under ordinary circumstances, I wouldn't suggest hormone replacement, and that's kind of what this is, but it's so benign and so gentle and so mild, and the benefits are such a wide range of different benefits. We talked about melatonin for blood fats and for diabetes and as a general relaxation aid and to calm the brain down for anti-anxiety reasons and everything to do, muscle growth, anti-cancer, pro-immunity, everything to do with activation of the so-called rest and digest nervous system is associated with this amazing supplement nutritional aid. Hair growth, sleep, blood sugar. According to WebMD, new research, this is on WebMD's website, new research shows that decreased levels of melatonin may be linked to the development of type 2 diabetes. Now, I'm not telling you that low levels of melatonin, and I don't think they are either, low levels of melatonin necessarily cause diabetes, but you can see how having less of these relaxation chemicals can lead to degenerative problems. It's not necessarily a cause of it, but it's associated with it. Another study of U.S. women found that those with the lowest levels of melatonin had more than twice the risk of type 2 diabetes compared to women with higher levels of the hormone. Melatonin is incredibly important for helping stabilize fats. It's an antioxidant, a fat antioxidant, a powerful fat antioxidant. Fats, as we've been talking about and we'll continue to talk about, as important as they are for health, and they are incredibly important for health, they're unstable. And the more active they are, the more valuable they are biologically, the more unstable they are. And this is especially true with the cells that line the nerve cells of the cells of the nervous system, cells of the brain. The cells of the nervous system and the cells of the brain are highly electrical, and they need insulation to keep the electrical energy running smoothly, and that insulation is the fat. Fat acts as a kind of insulation. Myelin. Everybody's heard of myelin, and there's lots of diseases that are associated with breakdown of that myelin. Generally, we call them scleroses. Multiple sclerosis is kind of like a class of diseases, which are all associated with a breakdown of the myelin, breakdown of fat. Well, guess what? Melatonin protects that fat. This is one of the reasons why researchers are now coming up with evidence that melatonin may be helpful for multiple sclerosis. According to an article published in the journal Cell earlier this year in September of 2015, melatonin may influence multiple sclerosis progression. Another article, this one from the Journal of Veterinary Science, found that melatonin had a protective effect against something called experimental autoimmune encephalomyelitis, which is a mouthful, but basically it's some animal version of multiple sclerosis. So the benefits to the brain, the benefits to the nervous system are well elucidated. Just go on Google, or go on Scholar Google or PubMed, Google melatonin in the nervous system. And a lot of this has to do with melatonin's ability to protect the nerve cells. The immune system becomes activated when the outside part of cells, or for that matter, the inside part of cells, breaks down. When a cell becomes dysfunctional, misshapen, distorted, the immune system becomes alerted. So when the outside part of a cell, the cell membrane, breaks down, for lots of reasons this happens, when the outside part breaks down, the immune system is alerted to a dysfunctional, distorted monster cell. And that's where you get your immune response. And if it happens a lot, you get an autoimmune response. An autoimmune response is really triggered by dysfunctional cells. It can also be triggered by foods, as we've talked about. But either way, the immune system is triggered when something is wrong inside the blood, inside the circulatory system, or inside of tissues. Melatonin, by its ability to protect the outside part of a cell, can quiet down this immune response when you have an autoimmune disease. And it's not just multiple sclerosis, but there's a lot of studies that talk about multiple sclerosis and melatonin supplementation. Melatonin is an anti-rancidity supplement. It keeps the outside part of cells from going rancid. That's what happens. Think about a rancid oil. The nasty smell of a rancid oil, if you've ever smelled that. By the way, if you're using skincare products that have oils in them, chances are they're rancid, because cosmetic grade oil is a rancid version of food grade oil. Food grade oil has to have a level of purity that cosmetic grade oil doesn't have, and purity in terms of fats is rancidity. So cell membranes break down when the fat oxidizes. That's a type of rancidity. It's the same kind of thing that happens in an oil. The same kind of thing that happens in an oil happens in the outside membrane of a cell. And when this occurs, you get a dysfunctional, distorted cell. And then when this occurs a lot, you end up with tissues breaking down and organs breaking down, and that's what we call disease. But it all starts at the level of a cell, and oftentimes it starts at the outside part, the level on the outside part. All disease is cell disease, but all cell disease is cell membrane disease. And the cell membrane is fatty, and melatonin protects fats. Thus, the importance of this incredible health aid. Eventually, when cell membranes break down, the cell itself can actually commit suicide. Cells are programmed to commit suicide when they're distorted enough. They're not doing their work. And this can be a big problem. This is where big trouble can result. And I'll tell you what I mean when we come back from our break. You're listening to The Bright Side. We'll be back right after this. Don't go away.
Hi, I'm Dr. Sam Nussbaum with the Anthem Foundation. Premature birth is the leading cause of death of babies and disabilities for children. That's why we support the March of Dimes to help mothers have full-term pregnancies and healthy babies. Join us in supporting cutting-edge research, treatment and outreach to help moms during their pregnancy and give every baby a healthy start in life. Learn how you can help at marchofdimes.org.
Don't complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number, 1-855-905-MY-TV. The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. Say goodbye to the cable guy and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for less money. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. Sign up for packages starting as low as $19.99, and there's no equipment to buy. You get free HD TV upgrade, a free DVR upgrade, and free professional installation. You control what you watch when you watch it. Record your favorite shows, pause and rewind live TV, even skip the commercials. Watch local channels too. At just $19.99, what are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV. Say goodbye to the cable guy. Cut costs and get more. 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV.
As the cold and flu season approaches, Silver Lungs is ready to help you and your family through the toughest of the year by supporting your immune system and overall health. From our best-selling colloidal silver generating system to our entire line of silver-based skin gels, nasal sprays, soaps, and silver solutions. Silver solutions remain one of nature's most powerful and least expensive antibacterial agents. Now you can produce your own for pennies a day in the comfort of your home using the breakthrough technology of the Silver Lungs generator. Learn more today at www.silverlungs.com.
So you've got to take a state construction license exam or certification. Can't decide on what books or what chapters to study? Discover right now how you can eliminate unnecessary books and wasted study time. At contractorexam.com, our study materials zero in on state-required test topics in an effective, multiple-choice format. So whether you're a plumber, electrician, general contractor, or other construction-related trade, contractorexam.com will help get you prepared. Visit us at www.contractorexam.com today.
What would your life be like if you woke up each morning with new vitality, feeling better than you have in years, and you noticed a difference in your sleeping patterns, blood sugar levels, and had a sense of well-being overall? There's something that is changing thousands of people's lives, and you could be one of them. It's called Heart and Body Extract. Sharon Harris, co-creator of Heart and Body Extract, talks about the positive effects of Heart and Body Extract.
What happens with the formula Heart and Body Extract is it's giving the body the necessary vitamins, minerals, amino acids, enzymes, and phytonutrients so the body will heal itself. And yes, the body does have the ability to balance blood pressure, balance cholesterol, clean and unclog the arteries. It can also work on balancing the circulation for diabetics. So the body is an amazing thing. It simply needs some help so it has the tools to heal itself.
Heart and Body Extract gets results. To order your 2-month supply, call now, toll free at 866-295-5305. Order online at hbextract.com.
My dad was 59 when he collapsed from a heart attack late last year. Just this past August was when we spread his ashes on the St. Croix River. I loved my dad, but boy was he stubborn. He hadn't been to the doctor in over 25 years. His excuse? He simply couldn't afford it. He wasn't a rich man by any means. At less than $107 per month, libertyoncall.org would have been the perfect alternative for my father. Don't wait. Go to libertyoncall.org right now, for not just your sake, but for the sake of your loved ones. Again, that's libertyoncall.org.
It's not necessarily going to help you fall asleep if you have a health crisis or a health challenge. A lot of folks will tell me, well, I use that melatonin, I use a bunch of it, I still couldn't fall asleep. That's because your body doesn't want you to fall asleep. It's very difficult to override the body's desires. You got to use hardcore medicine. This is what drugs do, by the way. Drugs override the body's desires, the body's biological and biochemical needs. That's how a drug works. That's why they're problematic. You can't just willy-nilly suppress chemistry in the body, keep the body from doing what it wants to do. That's the problem with sleeping pills. The body wants you up because it perceives an emergency. Now, sure, you can poison yourself with a sleeping pill, and that's pretty much what that does, what sleeping pills do, and override that system, but there is going to be a price to pay. Disease, breakdown in the body, is not random. In fact, disease and symptomology, the symptoms, the unpleasant symptoms that we talk about, they're our friends. They're telling us exactly what we need to know to correct the problem. Only the boneheaded medical model would shut that down. It's really ridiculous when you think about it. Now, I'm not saying never to use these kinds of medications. There are times you need them, including pain pills. But to be on a drug long term is absurd. It is absolutely idiotic. And nothing says bonehead more than a medical professional that will tell you you need to be on this the rest of your life. Think about it. What are they saying? They're saying we have no idea what's the problem is, so we're just going to give you this so we don't have to see the numbers. It's idiotic. It's craziness. Craziness that we have a healthcare system that thinks that we need to be suppressing our symptomology. From 2 new studies conducted by researchers at the University of Otago, I think that's in Australia, show that not being able to afford prescription medicines harms people's health. Yes, missing out on your drugs harms your health, according to 2 new studies. This is what they believe, because they believe that health is a phenomena of numbers. It's not. Health has nothing to do with your cholesterol numbers or your blood pressure numbers or your A1C or your thyroid hormone levels. Nothing to do with those. It has to do with how you feel. Yeah, you lower your blood pressure, but you feel like crap. Does anybody see a disconnect here? Yeah, you lower your blood pressure, you lower your A1C, you reduce your I don't know, whatever marker you want to name, you increase your bone mineral density, whatever it is, but you end up with jaw cancer. This is craziness. So these two studies apparently want everybody to know that they should be able to afford their drugs. In this country now we have Obamacare, so we don't have to worry about that. So what's going on here when we break down? What is exactly happening? Well, it's at the cell level, the cell membrane. This starts at the cell membrane oftentimes. The cell membrane becomes distorted. It breaks down. When we eat the wrong kinds of fats, our cell membranes become distorted. When we don't get our essential fatty acids, our ultimate EFAs, our cell membranes become distorted. As toxins build up in the body, our cell membranes become distorted. Eventually, the cell itself will die. Either because it's just so messed up, or it'll commit suicide. Cells actually will kill themselves. They have a program inside that will make them self-destruct. Cells will self-destruct when they become damaged enough. It's called apoptosis. apoptosis, cell suicide. It's a well-known biochemical phenomenon, biological phenomenon. So when a cell can't do its business, it'll either commit suicide or it'll just die. And this is where the problems begin, because when a cell dies, it doesn't just die. It releases its contents, which include enzymes and chemicals that are supposed to be inside the cell and away from everything else because they're active. And the cell will release its chemicals. It's kind of like in the Middle Ages when they had a war. They would throw dead bodies across over the castle walls, or they put the dead bodies in the water. Why? Because dead bodies release chemicals. Dead cells release chemicals. And those chemicals represent a danger, so the body has a cleanup crew for those chemicals. And usually it's not a problem. If a cell dies once in a while, you got a cleanup crew, and it will clean up those chemicals. But when cells are chronically dying because we're not eating correctly, because we're missing our mighty 90 essential nutrients, because we're not breathing correctly, because we got too much cortisol, because we have too much inflammatory chemicals, because we don't have enough melatonin, for a million reasons, when cells die at an extreme amount, you got lots of these enzymes and lots of these chemicals and lots of this debris floating around. The cleanup crew can't do its work. You can see some of this debris in dark spots on the skin. We've talked about that before. It's called lipofuscin. The body will not know what to do with all of this garbage. It can't clean it up. It can't process it because there's too much of it, so it'll stick it in places. It'll stick it in your heart. It'll stick it in your kidneys. It'll stick it in your skin. And you get lipofuscin in your brain. You get lipofuscin, these dark spots all over the body, inside and outside. Even worse, or as bad, eventually these nasty toxic enzymes and chemicals, which are only nasty and toxic because they're outside of the cell. Inside the cell, they're perfectly functional. When they're outside the cell, they can contact your nerves, your electrical wiring. We have a word for this. When those cell contents can touch the electrical wiring, the enzymes and the chemistry, you know what we call that? We call that pain. That's what pain is. Neuropathies. Chronic pain is caused by cells busting open and releasing their contents into the tissue and into the circulatory system, into the lymph. And this can happen. It doesn't have to happen when cells just die chemically because they're not getting nourished, or they're starving, or they don't have enough oxygen. This can happen just if you have pressure. Just trauma can do it. If you break your arm or break your leg, or if you have a burn, that can do it too. What you're experiencing, the pain you're experiencing, from a technical standpoint, is the contents of the cells that are being destroyed, releasing their contents. The cells are destroyed, releasing their contents, activating or touching the electrical wiring. That's basically what pain is. And this can occur for a lot of reasons. As I say, it could be mechanical. You could break your leg. It could be a burn. Or it can be starvation, suffocation, intoxication, and distorted cell membranes. Rancidity of a cell. As we said, distorted, broken down cell membranes can do it. And here's another thing. Broken down cells and cell debris can initiate more debris and more cell destruction. You get this vicious downward cycle. So you get pain, you get loss of functionality of tissues and organs, you get more cell death, you get this vicious cycle as more and more cells are dumping out their contents. This is degenerative disease, folks, in a nutshell, and it starts off with a broken down cell. Classic example of this kind of pain is neuropathy, and I probably get 10 letters a day on neuropathy. Not surprisingly, if you've been diagnosed with this condition, neuropathy, which just means nerve pain, now you know what causes it. Now you understand the mechanism of neuropathy. Nobody really knows. When I get these letters from folks, people don't understand what neuropathy really is, and that's where we run into problems. If we don't understand the mechanisms of how we're breaking down, then we just do whatever the doctor tells us, and that doesn't work out so well. Okay, I'm Pharmacist Ben. 844-236-6010 is our number. We do have lines open for you. We'll take a break and come back with your phone calls and more good health information right after this. And we're talking melatonin and pain, neuropathy.
In 600 feet,
turn
left on 20th Street.
How do you like that? Anyway, melatonin protects the outside part of a cell. When the outside part of a cell breaks down, the contents of a cell can explode, leak into the circulatory system and into tissues. This is what we call pain. If it happens randomly, so-called randomly, supposedly randomly, in other words, it's not associated with trauma or not associated with a burn, you can rest assured your cells are breaking down inside. This is why diabetes and neuropathy go hand in hand, and this is why melatonin can help you with your neuropathies. Melatonin can help you with your nerve pains. Melatonin can help you with your nerve cells. From the journal Cell, published September 10th, melatonin explains the mystery of seasonal multiple sclerosis flare-ups. Seasonal flare-ups in patients with multiple sclerosis are caused by, get this, plummeting levels of melatonin in the spring and summer, according to research published September 10th in Cell. The study reveals that relapses in patients with multiple sclerosis are much less frequent in the fall and winter when levels of the so-called darkness hormone are at their highest. Did your doctor tell you that? I'm not sitting here saying that multiple sclerosis can be cured with melatonin, but I'm just saying there's all of these ways, there's all of these strategies that we can use ourselves to control our disease process without medical intervention. 844-236-6010 is our number. Tomorrow we'll talk about melatonin and diabetes. And we'll continue talking about neuropathies, melatonin and neuropathies, as we continue discussing fats, hormones, fatty hormones, and the skin. 844-236-6010 is our number. Glenn, what's going on? Glenn in PA. Glenn, you are a PA. You're a PA or you're an RN?
Right, exactly.
Right.
That's
cool.
me.
And where do you work, Glenn?
I do private duty home care for special needs kids, CP patients, and brain disorders, that sort of thing.
Oh, very cool. Good deal. You work for an agency, or you got your own gig, or what's the deal?
No, agency, yeah.
Very nice.
Don't like doing the 1099 thing.
What do you think of the nursing profession? What's it like these days? Would you recommend it?
I still recommend it. As with everything, I mean, it's harder. Everything's. I sort of went into private duty care because of the, patient-nurse ratios going up so much, staffing levels, and, the challenging.
You can always get a job, in other words?
Well, yeah, and you know what, and you can diversify. You can professionalize as much as you want. You can specialize. You get a master's. You get a PhD. You can certify in a given field. I mean, if you can't find a niche in nursing, then boy, you're just awfully picky.
And what do nurses start off at, like when they graduate? Like how much an hour? $30 an hour, $50 an hour?
Oh no, not necessarily these days. It depends. It depends on your demography, zip code and stuff like that.
Just roughly, can you make a good living?
I ballpark mid-20s per hour, let's say.
Okay, got it. And is it gratifying or is it taxing or is it both?
Oh, both, of course. And
both.
You've got to be a good time manager. It's whether you're working like a med surg floor in a hospital or, there are different levels, or if you're working in residential care, or nursing home type stuff. One's higher acuity, lower patient load. One's lower acuity, higher patient load. So, and either way, you've got to be fit, quick on your feet, and making good use of your time.
I do notice most nurses tend to be younger. RNs, that is, tend to be younger.
Oh, yeah.
It's interesting. I could see it being a physically demanding job. So what's going on? How can we help you, buddy?
Okay. Oh, I was surprised that you didn't mention that sclerosis means hardening. I don't know, like scleroderma would be hardening skin.
Right, and, hardening tissue.
And myelin sheaths are made of Schwann cells. I'm surprised you didn't get them out to the cellular level.
Well, that's between me and you, buddy. We're not talking medical. I'm not talking to doctors, I know. I actually do have very intelligent listeners, but you don't have to be, a lot of this stuff is just common sense. It's not, isn't it common sense, Glenn? A lot of this is
I don't believe in common sense.
You don't believe in common sense? Isn't the inflammatory the idea that cells break down, release their contents, hit the nerves, and that's how you feel pain? Isn't this logic? Forget common sense. Isn't it logical?
Logic, yes. See, one man's common sense is, like people say, oh, this is common sense, when it's really somewhat technical. One man's common sense is another man's.
Okay, then logical.
Logical. Yeah, absolutely. I think God designed everything pretty logically and all that.
Right.
But I wanted to bounce back to our discussion discussion last week about chronic inflammation and something you said about eating. And I was thinking about eating and anti-inflammatory diets and stuff. And you alluded just to the concept where I was pretty sure what you were saying is that, in a sense, eating and digestion are themselves somewhat inflammatory processes.
Absolutely, 100%.
Right.
And it's logical. Okay. And it's logical, though, Glenn. I'm not just asserting that.
Right.
Do you see the logic? The invader is getting into the system. So the system wakes up. That's what the immune system is supposed to do.
So my point is, so does this, this would seem to me to point to the idea that it would be best then to eat a meal and then stop eating and allow your body to process that meal and then allow your body to go into sort of a non-inflammatory phase for a number of hours and then eat again as needed.
Absolutely. And the less you do it, the better off you are.
Right, and so this militates against constant nibbling.
That's the stupidest thing you ever... I can always tell when somebody doesn't know what they're talking about, or they're repeating something, or they're just ignorant. Medical professional, and there's a lot of them, as you know, ignorant medical professionals, ignorant alternative medical professionals, when they say certain things. One of those things is eat all day long. I know right away they don't understand chemistry.
Idea.
What?
Right. That's a good idea.
Obviously, remember logic here, Glenn. If you know you have an inflammatory response that's mounted to anything, which makes sense, the less you have that inflammatory response, the better off you're going to be. The body can handle a certain amount of inflammation, though. You have to eat. So this is why we have an immune system. The problem is when it's bombarded. And then in conjunction with nutritional deficiencies and our crappy lifestyle, this is where it begins, a disease process. And this is why fasting always benefits health conditions. All you got to do is Google multiple sclerosis and fasting. WebMD talks about it. You know?
Right.
This is why fasting and caloric restriction, by the way, caloric restriction, restricting your calories, is the single most powerful anti-aging strategy there is. Why? Because you're not attacking the body chronically. And by the way, Glenn, when it comes to eating, there's two types of eating, or there's two types of food. There are there's two types of food components, I should say. There's the macro components, which are the proteins and the fats and the carbohydrates. They represent calories and energy. Then there's the micronutrients, and we need to make that distinction because we get plenty of calories. The calories are the enemy. The micronutrients, they're not the enemy. It's the calories that are the enemy. You understand? The micronutrients, they represent ways that the body uses the macronutrients, the proteins, the fats, and the carbs. It's the caloric intake and the fats and the proteins that stimulate the immune response, that activate the immune response. This is why supplementation can be so helpful, because with supplements, you get the micronutrients without having to deal with as much burden from the macronutrients. Now, whole foods, what distinguishes a whole food from a junk food is a whole food has the perfect balance of the micronutrients to the macronutrients. But what have we done in the last 100 years, 200 years, 300 years? Is we've systematically and scientifically figured out how to divorce the two. So we get lots of the macronutrients without the micronutrients. This is the stupidest thing human beings have done in their, 2 million years or 500,000 years, however you want to divide it, we've been on the planet. Finish up with Glenn. So did that make sense, the macronutrient distinction, Glenn? How whole foods, I don't think I finished my thought. Whole foods are a balance of both. Technology and food processing technology, I should say, has become very skilled at separating those two to our ultimate health detriment. So did you have a question, Glenn?
I was going to say, since you mentioned that, what do you think of certain supplements like blue-green freshwater algae like spirulina or
Love spirulina.
Deer velvet?
Deer antler velvet is not in the same category. I think of algae more as a food.
No, it's not an algae. No. I'm just saying it's supposed to be a super nutrient.
But here's a distinction. Algae is a food. I look at it as a food. Deer antler velvet is more of a supplement, an herbal supplement, and it does have some. Theoretically, it's got the male hormones in there. I'm not convinced that that's. Have you used it?
I'm not convinced. No. I hear all the commercials for the various brands on the talk radio that talk about it. Anything that does directly affects endocrine function, I'm a little leery of. But the spirulina, that's just the whole food.
That's a whole food.
Complete food. Yeah, that's very
complete
good.
Complete food.
Yeah.
Spirulina, algae, these things that live on top of the ocean, not only are they complete foods, but they have this amazing ability to process the sun because they live on the surface of the ocean. And this incredible sun processing property can be exploited by the animals that eat it, like us. And when we eat those algae, we get sun protection. And it's not just sun protection, we get electrical protection. Inside the body, we get electrical protection from algae. Not to mention the fact that they're absolutely packed, loaded with electrical nutrients, minerals from the ocean. And they're in this suspended form. I wrote a blog post on gels here a couple of days ago. I tried to make gels interesting. In cosmetic chemistry, gels are really, they're very functional. And in the body, they're very functional too. And one of the neat things about algae and planktons is they are jelly. They have this ability to lock water up. That's what a gel is. It has this amazing property, ability to lock up water, to bind water. In fact, that's how your skin stays moist. It's bound up in gel. You know, this is why drinking more water doesn't really affect skin moisturization, because the water has to be trapped in the gel. There's a very fascinating relationship between sugars and water that allows these two substances to mix together to create a gel, complex sugars. And gels, the body is really a jelly system. Our brain is a jelly system. Our tissues are jelly systems. And by gel, I mean they're bound water with minerals inside. And anytime you eat bound water with minerals inside, as an algae, you get tremendous health benefits. And I believe in the future, when we figure out how to work with the ocean a little bit, we're going to be farming algae and farming seaweed and really using these things as a major source of nutrition, because they're really, really, really powerful, complete foods, as you say, Glenn. All right, I want to get to a couple letters. Anything else you want to say, Glenn?
Sometime when you have a chance to hold forth on any potential benefits of nose breathing versus mouth breathing.
Nose, okay, good. Yeah, always breathe in through the nose. Nose is for breathing, mouth is for eating, is the way I like to put it. So mouth breathing will get you a little bit more air, obviously, but it's really the nose that's the function of the nose to inhalation, exhalation, or functions of the nose. Thanks so much for your call, Glenn. Appreciate it. There's a lot of tricks you can use to control to affect how you're thinking, how your body is working by breathing. And these are called breathing techniques. And there's lots of gurus out there, and I have a friend who's one actually, breathing gurus, who will tell you that by breathing through one nostril and the other nostril and alternating nostrils, you can have different change certain effects in the body. But really, it doesn't matter. What you want to do is you want to be getting oxygen into your lungs, and you want to be exhaling poison and carbon dioxide, and that's the key. And don't underestimate the exhalation. That's really where the body relaxes itself, is on the exhalation. The inhalation is actually an activating process. As you inhale, you wake up. As you exhale, you relax. And exploiting the exhalation phase of respiration, the exhalation phase of respiration is really the key to relaxing the body. And speaking of that, I got this letter from Rosemary, who writes, my husband, and I printed this out because it's just so interesting. It's such a classic example of how we think about the health of our bodies. My husband, Kenneth, 58 years old, was prescribed lisinopril. That's a drug that changes fluid balance in the blood vessels. The doctor's strategy for reducing blood pressure is to reduce fluidity of the blood. Amlodipine besylate, that's a heart drug used for high blood pressure. Since these two meds weren't reducing his pressure after 6 weeks, his physician added another drug, a beta blocker drug, which poisons the heart. This is how the doctors think. Oh, these didn't do it? We'll add one more. As if these are magical substances that are only going to lower his blood pressure and not have toxicity. The addition of the drug, check this out, made him become extremely drowsy and lowered his sexual desire even further. Well, no kidding. He's being poisoned. If you were being poisoned, you wouldn't want to have sex either. All he could do was sleep between trips. He's poisoning himself. He's a truck driver, great. So it was dangerous for him to be at work feeling sleepy all the time. After 2 weeks, he stopped taking the losartan, that's the beta blocker, since his blood pressure has remained high. He juices raw vegetables and fruit daily. We're at a loss to what to do. Well, yes, because nobody's told him the mechanism. Here's what you do, Rosemary. Number one, first and foremost, start deep breathing. That alone will lower his blood pressure. Make sure he's inhaling correctly to get energy and exhaling correctly to detoxify and activate the relaxation nervous system. That's first. Secondly, for Rosemary, Rosemary's husband. Reduce sugar intake. Vegetable juices are great. The fruit is not. It's not helping him, especially in a juice. Now, I'm not saying zero tolerance on sugar, but as close as you can get. Oh, by the way, he's at 270 pounds and 5'11". So you're going to lose weight too. Your weight is a classic example, a classic case, manifestation of poorly processed sugar. My friend, you are a diabetic. So you got to think that way. So reducing your intake of anything that spikes blood sugar and using your sweeties, chromium and vanadium, making sure you're getting the B vitamins, which are incredibly important for helping with blood sugar. That's the Beyond Tangy Tangerine, which is packed with your B vitamins. There's lots of other nutrients you can use to help with sugar. Alpha lipoic acid can help. Vitamin E can help. Maybe 400 IU of alpha lipoic acid. Maybe 400 milligrams of alpha lipoic acid. Maybe 400 IU of vitamin E. Vitamin D is important, so get out in the sun. Use your ultimate EFAs. It's not anything different than anybody else has to do, and this is really the major point. Kenneth doesn't have an unusual problem. Selenium, by the way, is also very important for blood sugar control. Healthy Start Pack, all around health. Just do the Healthy Start Pack. And then there's the food. First of all, caloric restriction. Every time he eats, if you have high blood pressure and it's chronic, I guarantee you, after you eat, if you're eating the standard American diet, your blood pressure goes up. Do it. Take it. Test it. Test your blood pressure pre-meal and then test it post-meal. So eating less can be important. Making sure that you're eating nutritionally dense food. Algae, as we talked about, wonderful nutritional density. Oysters, eggs, yeast, powerful, dense nutritional foods. And then, of course, an all-around nutritional supplement. It wouldn't hurt you to get on the Biolumin Nightly Essence, my all-time favorite probiotic supplement, with digestive enzymes. Make sure you're using extra digestive enzymes with all of your meals. I will guarantee you, Rosemary and Kenneth, if you will follow the steps we talk about here on The Bright Side every day, if you'll follow them, guaranteed 100%, not 99.9, 100%, you will lower your blood pressure, and the chances are pretty darn good you're going to be feeling a lot better, and you're going to be able to wean yourself off of your medication. It's not complicated, folks, because the body is meant to be healthy. We are meant to be healthy. We're meant to be great. We're meant to thrive. We're not meant to just be hanging on by our fingernails. We're not meant just to be barely getting by. What is the point of taking all of these drugs if you fall asleep all day and you can't have sex and you feel like crap? Well, yeah, but we lowered your blood pressure. That's really the logic. It is absolute insanity, and it is so unnecessary. If you get on, I'm guaranteeing everyone out there who's dealing with a chronic degenerative condition, if you control the digestive system, you control the foods you eat, and if you want a quick way to do it, just fast. Stabilize digestive health with probiotics and the Fucoid Z and apple cider vinegar and digestive enzymes and caloric restriction. You work on your blood sugar by reducing your intake and using blood sugar control nutrients, particularly the B vitamins and electrolytes and your essential fatty acids. You practice your deep breathing techniques. You get on a rebounder, do a little bit of exercise. You rest a lot. I'm guaranteeing with 100% certainty, because I've seen it thousands of times, and it just flat out makes sense. You will reverse your degenerative condition quickly and in a far more effective fashion than any doctor or any tool the medical model can ever do. All right, I'm Pharmacist Ben. Thanks for listening, friends. Have yourselves a wonderful, beautiful, spectacular day. We'll talk to y'all later, folks. Bye for now.
Are you tired of commuting to a job that makes someone else rich, working harder than ever, but getting nowhere? Do you hate spending hundreds of dollars every week on daycare, having someone else raise your children? With our opportunities, you can start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss, work from home, and live a happier life. At Be the Boss Network, you'll find hundreds of work-from-home opportunities that you can literally start today and be earning money as soon as next week. Go to freedom106.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss. Get out of the rat race. Work from home. Go to freedom106.com right now and change your life today. That's freedom106.com. Go to freedom106.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You be the boss. Go to freedom106.com.
As your body ages, there's a 10% decline in your ability to repair each passing decade after the age 28. By age 40, your ability to repair from demanding manual labor, exercise, or a stressful desk job has declined by 12%. By using One World Whey, you supercharge your body's ability to repair and eliminate inflammation. Our unique frequency-encoded whey protein, coupled with our high-quality whey, improves your cell's ability to make protein, which is to say, repair itself.
My name is Jonathan Wright, and I'm 40 years old. I recently went from a desk job to a manual labor job. Normally, I'm worn out. With energy-enhanced One World Whey, I now recover so quickly that I can perform very hard work all day long. I use energy-enhanced One World Whey for breakfast and lunch, and I experience less hunger throughout the day. I have a 30% increase in energy, and I just feel better. I plan to make energy-enhanced One World Whey a permanent part of my lifestyle.
Call 888-988-3325 or visit oneworldwhey.com. That's oneworld.com.
Pharmacist Ben.
This is Dan Pillett. Do you owe the IRS money you can't pay? Are tax debts crippling you? I've defended people from the IRS for over 30 years. I've helped thousands, and I can help you too. I wrote the book on IRS settlement, and I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a hopeless case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX to finally get free of IRS debt. With the IRS's new programs, there's never been a better time to solve your problem. Call 800-34-NO-TAX. That's 800-34-NO-TAX, or my website, danpilla.com.
There's a man named Dr. Joel Wallach who is anything but your typical doctor, both a veterinarian and naturopathic physician. Doc asks, why does the United States spend more money on healthcare by far and still rank 50th in health and longevity worldwide? He believes that people should empower themselves with a basic understanding of nutrition, take charge of their health, and attain optimal health and longevity through nutrition, not by toxic prescription drugs that lead to side effects and more toxic prescription drugs. Doc Wallach's message has resonated with an increasing number of Americans who are waking up to all the big government, big pharma, and big insurance manipulation of our healthcare system. I'm George Norrie, and I like what Doc Wallach is saying and doing to enlighten people about healthcare. Visit brightsideben.com and listen to Doc Wallach's Deadly Recipes lecture. It makes a lot of sense, and I urge you to join the Brightside Ben team. Go to brightsideben.com. That's brightsideben.com.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Adam Pileski of the Pileski Law Firm with principal office in Houston, Texas is the attorney responsible for the content of this ad. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisement. Services may not be available in all states.
Attention Xarelto users. If you or a loved one took Xarelto and suffered a serious bleeding event, you may be entitled to financial compensation. Xarelto is a popular prescription blood thinner used to prevent blood clots and protect patients from strokes. These serious bleeding events have led to numerous cases of hospitalization and even death. Phone lines are open 24/7. Call 800-261-0937. That's 800-261-0937.
We use mobile devices right against our bodies every day, but growing scientific evidence has emerged showing serious health risks associated with exposure to EMF radiation emitted from these devices. The solution is Defender Shield, the most effective mobile radiation shielding ever developed. Defender Shield blocks virtually 100% of EMF radiation from cell phones, tablets, and laptops, and starts at just $64.99. Buy now at DefenderShield.com. For 10% off, use promo code GCN. DefenderShield.com, the worldwide leader in mobile radiation shielding.
What looks good under your Christmas tree and tastes even better? Big Berkey water filters. Yes, the gift of clean water. A gift that provides a great foundation for achieving good health in the lives of your loved ones. A Big Berkey water filter gives them protection from bacteria, heavy metals, chlorine, fluoride, pesticides and herbicides, VOCs, and more. And best of all, a Big Berkey water filter is a gift that lasts for many years with no additional investment. And that saves time and money in filter replacements that other water filters require and are even powerful enough to purify treated, untreated, or even stagnant pond water. As always, all orders over $50 are shipped free, and GCN listeners get 5% off all ceramic filter systems. Order online at BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com, spelled Big, B-E-R-K-E-Y, waterfilters.com, or call 877-99-BERKEY. That's 877-99-BERKEY. Gift well this Christmas. Give a Big Berkey water filter.
By now you know that wireless technology like cell phones do in fact pose dangers to the health and privacy of everyone. Block-It Pocket's wide range of products are unmatched in providing the protection you deserve. No scare tactics, just common sense. BlockItPocket.com offers quality American-made options to alleviate and eliminate these invisible dangers. Learn more at BlockItPocket.com or call 888-315-9618. BlockItPocket.com, enhancing health and privacy.
So you've got to take a state construction license exam or certification. Can't decide on what books or what chapters to study? Discover right now how you can eliminate unnecessary books and wasted study time. At contractorexam.com, our study materials zero in on state-required test topics in an effective, multiple-choice format. So whether you're a plumber, electrician, general contractor, or other construction-related trade, contractorexam.com will help get you prepared. Visit us at www.contractorexam.com today. If you or someone you care about loves outdoor adventure, then check out slingbow.com for some unique holiday gift ideas. That's slingbow.com, where we have some innovative new products for the archer, hunter, or bow fishing enthusiast in your family. Now through January, use the promo code HOLIDAY to get free shipping in the US or Canada. And from all of us at Slingbow Industries, have a safe, joyous, and peaceful holiday season.
What would your life be like if you woke up each morning with new vitality, feeling better than you have in years, and you noticed a difference in your sleeping patterns, blood sugar levels, and had a sense of well-being overall? There's something that is changing thousands of people's lives, and you could be one of them. It's called Heart and Body Extract. Sharon Harris, co-creator of Heart and Body Extract, talks about the positive effects of Heart and Body Extract.
What happens with the formula Heart and Body Extract is it's giving the body the necessary vitamins, minerals, amino acids, enzymes, and phytonutrients so the body will heal itself. And yes, the body does have the ability to balance blood pressure, balance cholesterol, clean and unclog the arteries. It can also work on balancing the circulation for diabetics. So the body is an amazing thing. It simply needs some help so it has the tools to heal itself.
Heart and Body Extract gets results. To order your 2-month supply, call now, toll free at 866-295-5305. Order online at hbextract.com.
As the cold and flu season approaches, Silver Lungs is ready to help you and your family through the toughest of the year by supporting your immune system and overall health. From our best-selling colloidal silver generating system to our entire line of silver-based skin gels, nasal sprays, soaps, and silver solutions. Silver solutions remain one of nature's most powerful and least expensive antibacterial agents. Now you can produce your own for pennies a day in the comfort of your home using the breakthrough technology of the Silver Lungs generator. Learn more today at www.silverlungs.com.
My name is Bill Bonner, and I have an important message. Right now, the highest levels of government are struggling against an inevitable crisis, but they're about to lose control. When this happens, it will rip our country apart in ways you never imagined, from where we shop to the family you want to protect. Look, I've made predictions like this before. A few years ago, I warned that the housing prices would collapse. Before that, I warned that .com companies would crash, and they did. Those who listened had a chance to save themselves. But this has nothing to do with the stock market. This will affect us all. I've posted a free video at disappearingdollar.com. Maybe you'll disagree with my conclusions, but first you need to watch this video and see the facts for yourself. You can watch the video for free right now by going to disappearingdollar.com. Again, that's disappearingdollar.com.
Owe $10,000 or more to the IRS? Get on board with the Tax Admiral. Don't pick on the IRS alone. I'll cut penalties and reduce your overall tax bill. Sometimes I can even get it zeroed out completely. We're an A-rated company helping people clean up their mess with the IRS. If you owe $10,000 or more, then call the Tax Admiral.
Call 800-287-7180. Again, that's 800-287-7180. 800-287-7180.
Did you know that home break-ins increase more than 100% during the holidays? It takes just 10 seconds for an intruder to kick in your door, but police response to a home alarm system is more than 20 minutes, and intruders are in and out of your home in 5 minutes. Thieves know that you're not home and have presents inside just waiting to be taken. And if you are home, how safe will you feel with an intruder lurking inside with your family? That's why police across the country are recommending you use Door Armor. Proven to withstand the force of a battering ram, Door Armor keeps intruders out. It's easy to install and barely visible, and your Door Armor is guaranteed for life. Go to InvasionStopper.com for a very special buy one, get one at half off deal. These savings are for a limited time and only available to GCN listeners. Protect your valuables and loved ones this holiday season. Go to InvasionStopper.com now. That's InvasionStopper.com.